hell is this game?
Please
Holy
enjoy.
shit.
Damn, dude, this looks sick.
There's very few games that have communities like Warframe, a community constantly picking up new players year after year, a community welcoming of the noobs like me, people who show up in the masses for a taste of more from this ever-evolving game, a community that calls Warframe home. For a community to be this way, you would have to have developers and studios, especially studio heads, as passionate as its fan base, and luckily, Digital Extremes is just that. The year is 2013, and Warframe wasn't exactly received well. Meddling reviews had pinned Warframe as mostly an unfinished mess. As Eurogamer said, Warframe bears all the hallmarks of an unambitious, mid-range shelf filler from 2007. Developer Digital Extremes is responsible for such ambivalent, middle-of-the-road fare as Dark Sector and Star Trek, and Warframe continues in much of the make-do fashion. This is not a game you'll turn to in order to be dazzled or surprised. 4 out of 10. Now that was in 2013, and for a company that may not have cared, taken feedback, listened to their community, and focused on the players that enjoyed the core of Warframe, this may have been the end. But as Digital Extremes has rapidly evolved Warframe for 11 years, with plenty of fresh story content that I will put story spoilers here for, since in the last video, you guys reminded me to put that first and foremost. They've also added endgame frames, blueprints, and really just features and locations that make you question what the original game was even about. Eurogamer and the world as a whole has since changed their minds, and Eurogamer has even said that they love Warframe nowadays. Quote, "You will be amazed at how much of the DNA of Warframe was established years before the game ever came out. If you'd told me when Warframe first came out that it would eventually deliver one of my all-time favorite bits of video game storytelling, I would have laughed. It's unbelievable, but here we are, and Warframe proves that any genre, even one as seemingly antithetical to good storytelling as grindy looter shooter, can be elevated to something far more meaningful. Listen, I pull up quotes like this and I say all of this because Warframe 1999, in the community's opinion and my opinion so far, has been everything players have wanted. So, spoilers ahead. I want to say a big thank you to Digital Extremes for trusting me enough to sponsor this video. I was reached out to for my video discussing Warframe for a Destiny player and formed what I think has been a great relationship with the studio. From developers hanging out in my stream to even being given a care package for 1999, the team at Digital Extremes has shown amazing care for their creators and their community. I talked to the team directly and they ensured me 1999 has their souls poured into it. From its gripping story to its solid endgame and its dating sim features, it's just more Warframe in all the right ways. If you want to pick up Warframe, just know it will be a great choice and you have an even better community backing you. You can use my link down below to get your journey started. You'd be right to think that the 1999 update feels like a brand new game in some ways. The new tile sets of Halvania, complemented with a City 17 feeling that Digital Extremes is not shy from giving nods to, really cements it as being different from the spaceland that the rest of the game takes place in. For this video, I even asked questions to Digital Extremes themselves, and luckily for us, Megan Everett, community director on the game, had some answers. When I asked her what the inspirations for 1999 were, she said, the 90s of course, and the whole phenomenon around Y2K. It was a huge inspiration for us for 1999. A lot of us here at the studio have memories from the 90s. Some people were born in 1999, and some people weren't, but just have a love for the 90s, the culture, and the aesthetic. We wanted to apply all of that to this update, but obviously put a twist on it, make it weird, and make it fit within the Warframe universe. You have infested that are really like a bunch of old computers come to life, and you have a New Year's celebration that has some major implications to kick you off. The story may be hard to follow at times if you're not in touch on the Warframe side of things, but it's easy to get attached to characters like Arthur, Eleanor, Letty, Amir, Aoi, and Quincy, when their stories are integrated into the man-in-the-wall mysteries we're uncovering. I promise that if you're a longtime Warframe and Warframe fan, that this one might have character introspection on a level that hasn't been seen in a while. Moments of dismay, and overall, a lot to do for those who know their frames a little better than the rest. Posts like, just want to say that the Hex is definitely the best characters that DE have ever cooked, with a lot of positive reception overall on the post. Fans are pouring admiration for a more personal story, since there was worries that Warframe might have taken steps away from delivering on that front in more recent times. But here, well, let's say it ends in a very unique way. Digital Extremes themselves were a bit worried on how the community would feel, and when I asked them, Everett said, I think one of the biggest worries for 1999, and this kind of applies to any update that brings as much as 1999 brought, but also is so heavy story update and driven, is if the players are going to connect with the story. If what we're trying to portray from these characters and this story that we've been building for years, if it's going to please the community because they've been along with us for the ride for years, and they know these characters. We want to do them justice, and people have been theorizing and crafting ideas as to where Entrati is taking us. What's his motives, etc. There are people out there who kind of guessed correctly in a way, which is exciting, but there are people who maybe thought the story was going in a completely different route. So hopefully this story was still exciting for them. She then went on to say, we hope the community enjoys 1999, and we will be keeping a close eye on feedback afterwards. And if we have to make changes, we will. There was a lot of discussion about the story and that seemingly abrupt ending, the tragic ending for our characters, and moreover, confusion from the community as well. In a post titled, Warframe has literally lost the plot, or at least I have. This Redditor claims that there is a lot left simplified in explanation, holes in the plot, and more. But the community was also quick to assist and add commentary on why certain events happen the way that they do, and how the Drifter knows so much when we're thrown into 1999. I think it's valid criticism to say that not everything will be perfect. And for me, being new to Warframe still, even watching lore catch-up videos can only do so much. If you find yourself in the position to not be too tuned in to the story that's being told, then some of those big moments just won't hit as hard. But I think for me, 1999 was separate enough to make me feel attached to some characters, even if I didn't totally understand the entire plot. You can't get everyone to catch up on 11 years of story moments, but I am happy to say that Warframe doesn't sunset its content either. You can still play those big moments and become invested yourself. There is a lot more that explains the story as well, which we will get to in a second with the dating sim, which heavily goes over the story and some of the questions that the characters have that you may have. One of the biggest additions was the Atomicycle, a new G-Wheel summon that, well, it came with some funny bugs.
Whoa. Wait, what is this? Wait!
Yeah, there's still some kinks that they're working out. One of the things that I love about Digital Extremes and Warframe as a whole is these seemingly endless bugs that turn into features. This is not me claiming that there's a million bugs. In fact, Warframe understands that there can be bugs, that the game can get very big, to the point where even the brand new updates downsize the game and make it so all of this content is even more fleshed out while also being a smaller file size. This is an example of a bug that wasn't supposed to be outside of Hulvania for 1999, but players found that they could summon it in any mission, bar Railjack, so DE made it a feature. So I asked, why is DE a fan of the bug to feature mentality? And my answer was, a bug like the Atomicycle in normal missions is unique in that it's not necessarily game breaking, it's just not how we intended it to function. The team takes some time to deliberate on the pros and cons, but ultimately we saw how much fun the community was having with it and made the decision to let them keep it, while being transparent that any clear bugs that may result will be fixed. This may not always be the outcome when it comes to things functioning incorrectly and turning into features, but we as developers and gamers aim to keep the fun where it doesn't become overly disturbing or intrusive to the core gameplay. This has been the case in Warframe for a lot of the more fun bugs, and one day I'd love to make a video on all of the bugs turned into features. If that's something you would watch, just drop me a comment. But just know that one of the biggest features of 1999 was its dating sim. And yes, Yes, I am saying that correctly. Romance writer Kat Kingsley was brought in to do a lot of the writing for this update, and some of the lines are just, well, just have a listen. Dude, Sight is freaky. This guy said that he's like a mutt on a walk. Leashes are usually Letty's thing, but I guess I could make an exception. This was unironically my favorite part of 1999, since you know the frames and you get to know the characters, but they really lean into themselves well. My favorite was Volt or Amir, since he just typed at like Mach speed, and it's obviously fitting. You can also buy them the gifts based on their likes that you learn about as you get closer to them. It's these additional layers of love that make Warframe a special game and keep the community coming back. I had so many people ask me what the hell I was even playing, and if you wanted the reason why people keep coming back to Warframe, it's, in my humble opinion, because you get a guarantee of something new. You may also get a guarantee of a new frame that can make everyone's jaw drop. Sight09, aka Quincy, has one of the coolest intros of any frame I've ever played. You are just doing a setup mission where you enter the sniper scope and start ricocheting damage. The damage potential on a frame that is a sniper that can shoot through any walls, stacks crits, generates any ammo type, goes invis, and sustains the invis while also building damage from being invis is ridiculous. I've seen builds that hit for well over 8 million damage a shot, and that's before the ricochet. This was easily my favorite frame I have ever played with, and he required very little investment of mods to be endgame ready. I think this is the ultimate new player frame, while also being a really refreshing one, since sniping is just plain old-fashioned fun. More is also on the way for 1999, outlined by Digital Extreme's Reb Ford, who tweeted out about upcoming content. It looks like 1999 and its world is not done by any stretch. I tried to ask, by the way, but I was just told to wait and see. If I had to guess, it's more of what fans like, since DE is very in touch with their community. I can't say enough good things about Warframe and its community, its developer, everything about it. I really think that Warframe may be for you. It may not be for you, but when you have the rare case of constant growth in players year after year, you cannot ignore that Warframe is a special game and a special case of live service in a world where live service could definitely use some tweaks on the formatting. Everett had this to say in regards to the community, quote, "This is one of the hardest to put into words because I could sit here and just cry and gush my appreciation to the community. It's no small feat to work on an update like this and put it out before the end of the year, but we are so determined to give our players 1999 before the end of the year. From the bottom of my heart, thank you to the Warframe community for being along the ride with us for years while we've been working on Warframe. I never imagined I would be sitting here 10 plus years into my career and still working on Warframe and being even more excited about it than I have ever been, and seeing that reception in the community as well. Even when we've had our missteps, the community is still there. They're still fighting for us, and we're fighting for them. We're listening to them, and we'll always continue to do that. We will always be a community first game, and that's not going to change. Hopefully we can continue to entertain, do things differently, spice things up in the years to come, and keep putting out updates that keep Warframe alive and keep our players happy, because at the end of the day, that's what we're here to do. To end the year with 1999 is a dream come true. Just thank you. Thank you, thank you. Thank you to the community for loving us and respecting us. We appreciate you beyond words in the English dictionary that I have to express. So thank you, community, and we will see you online and in-game. Cheers to 2025. I hope you enjoy what's to come, and that's all I got. And thank you for watching, and thank you to Digital Extremes for sponsoring this video.